We've made several episodes on like spending habits and like financial literacy and how to get over like the scarcity mindset when it comes to money. And again, we can talk about this on like a whole other episode, but I feel like I've grown as a person. You know why?
Why?
Do you remember that era of my life where like I'd be like paralyzed and traumatized if I spent any
Last week?
if I spent like $4 on myself?
Yeah, man, what an era.
Like I couldn't buy coffee for myself, and if
Right.
I did get over the fear, like it was something that I couldn't enjoy because I kept feeling guilty.
Okay.
Feeling guilty.
Okay.
I feel like I've come into this journey now.
Come into the journey. Okay.
I've transformed. I'm like
evolve. Metamorphosize.
I was just about to say
Type
that. I'm in
shit.
the metamorphosis journey.
Okay.
I'm becoming a butterfly, right?
Yeah.
Before I was maybe like turning into a cocoon.
Yeah.
Like I was doing that.
Now you're
I
like
thought-
me.
No, you're
Recklessly
far
spend-
beyond. You're far beyond. You're something else.
Okay.
When I was in the cocoon, I thought that I wouldn't be able to get out of the cocoon, right? The shell. But now I think I'm slowly transforming, right?
Okay, into what?
Because into a butterfly. And also
Like-
I'm wearing butterfly earrings. if you
Wow,
can tell.
that's
But anyway,
why.
that all not planned. But anyway,
Yeah.
I am able to buy coffees for myself now
Okay.
without like double thinking it.
When's the last coffee, but
A couple days ago.
you can lie to them. You can't lie to me.
No, a couple days ago.
When?
Before I went to New Orleans or in New
A
Orleans.
week ago. You gotta get more like me.
You,
You know
are
what it's like
something
over
else.
here.
You buy multiple coffees a day when there's no need.
Anyways,
for
I got something important to say.
Okay. Anyway, the other day, I had to pick up a heavy box, right, of my samples, and it was very heavy.
For your
I
new
couldn't-
collection.
Yeah, for my new collection, I couldn't carry it because it was bigger than me. But old me would have still tried and brought it on the train and went from Manhattan to Queens and
Yeah.
suffered, right?
What the new you do?
I called an Uber for myself.
Uber everywhere.
Yeah,
Just
not
like
everywhere, just
Just
that.
when necessary.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's
Yeah,
good.
you know, like money's meant to be spent. You know, like why like keep it in the bank and just stare at it?
I
You
guess.
know, spend that money.
I
Spend that
guess.
money. 2024.
I mean,
spend
there's
that
definitely
money.
a balance.
There
but
is.
You should have a balance with spending money.
Why?
Yeah. You got money, like
I do.
unlimited money.
Facts.
All right.
On,
All right. I'm not
on
even gonna get
God.
into.
On God,
into that.
poppy time. You know what it is.
My drink of choice today is the Alani. It's the orange flavor, Orange Kiss. Actually tastes like a Fanta.
Yeah.
Pretty good an energy drink.
Yeah, that should have you fantasizing. Anyways, welcome back to our podcast where
A
we have
podcast about different South Asian
and
narratives.
drink beverages.
Cheers.
Cheers. On this podcast, my name is Mashnoon, and I'm drinking a strawberry lemon poppy.
My name is Mahua, and I'm drinking an Alani Orange Kiss energy drink.
And today we are talking about our fits. What you got on?
No.
What you got? You got,
Well, I'm
you
going
got
to a
that shit
boxing
on.
class later tonight, so that's why I
Yeah.
wanted to wear a casual fit. You know, some sweatpants,
Type
a
shit.
sweater. May or may not be a blueprint about
Oh,
on
of
something that
a
might
blueprint
be
of
coming
what?
out
Coming out?
on Labyrinth Ave. I don't know.
Damn.
How about you?
I'm a big
Something
fan of her.
new? Something
Yeah,
new?
you know, type shit, new flannel. You know, designer wise, so you know,
Right.
East Saint Laurent, you know, and some new, you know, Balenci, Balenci on me. It's both thrifted.
So the other day, we're thinking about what to talk about for this episode, right? And something that Mashoon and I have been talking about is what makes the Bangladeshi community different from other communities, right? Just unique, not just like, obviously all other communities are great. They have their unique factors. And that's the point. That's the point of this episode. What are the unique specific factors that our community has, that your community might have, whether it is the Bangladeshi community, the Pakistani community, the Latinx community, whether it is the LGBTQ plus community. Like, you know, it doesn't have to be like a ethnicity and nationality. It doesn't have to be any of that. What makes it so special, right? And we were talking about just like the great qualities of our culture and like our specific community that maybe other communities might not have. And also maybe some stuff that we didn't really appreciate growing up.
Okay.
Maybe we hated it growing up. And now we're like, wow.
What's something you hated growing up?
I hated going to like dawats.
Damn.
You know what a dawat
you
is?
like
If
them
you guys
now?
don't know what a dawat is, it's like
Yeah,
a
it's a little, you know,
like a get together,
collectivity
a collective get
where y'all
together.
vibe out.
You go to someone's house.
Did
they
you-
cook
in
you
New
food.
York, did you guys have those dawats and like maybe this is a Florida type of
What?
dawat, but it's like outdoors, like in like the
The
parks.
picnics.
Yeah, picnic
yeah,
dawats.
yeah.
Y'all
We
had
had-
that in New York.
We had like specific
Damn.
like village dawats.
What?
Like only like where my mom's from, like we had a dawat just for the people of that village
But where?
at a park,
At a park?
but it was like a picnic.
Type shit, yeah.
Yeah. But you had that?
Of course.
Yeah, we had that
big
too.
Spanish moss trees. Used to climb them,
Oh
with
yeah.
swing
We
tires.
played
you know.
badminton. You remember that?
Of course. What you know about badminton?
Oh my god, imagine all the food. But anyway, the basis of dawats is mostly at a house. You go there all
Mhm.
dressed up in your traditional clothes.
Catch a vibe.
There's all this food that you eat that the aunties make and stuff. You see the same old people for the most part. You kind of stay to yourself in your room unless you have your friends that you always, refer to.
Mm.
But it's kind of like the same old thing. And honestly, like we did it every weekend, which is
God.
yeah, we did it
That's
every weekend
different.
for the most part because we had a very close knit like brown community growing up. Which was a lot, it's like you want to hang out with your friends, you want to do things, and
Yo.
it's like you don't want to go to a dawat every single weekend.
True.
Obviously,
But
I'm
you-
being
but you're
dramatic.
into
It's not
them
every
now.
single weekend.
But you're
it's not
into
like
them
that.
now. You like?
I mean, I get
you
it
like
now.
doing
I
the
get the
dawats?
vibes now.
Okay.
I get the vibes.
Yeah,
now.
we're turning into the aunties and uncles.
Yeah, we're actually hosting
type
dawat
shit.
today.
Yeah, we are. We are hosting a dawat.
It's so funny
That's
because like
funny.
Mashun will be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, like I miss your friends." Like he's talking about my friends,
Yo, for
and
real.
he'll be like, "Can you invite them over?"
Yeah.
And I'll be like, "Okay, sure."
Yeah.
And then he'll be like, "Can I make them food?"
Yeah. I'm in my cooking era.
But
Feel
you've
me?
been saying that for years now.
and I
so it's
have
like-
been.
Yeah. No,
It's-
you're good at it. You're good
yeah,
at it.
I know. So
But anyway, my friends are coming out now. They're
Yeah,
your
I'm
friends,
cooking for
and
them.
he's cooking for them. So that is sweet of you.
type
But anyway, yeah, things like that. It's like you don't appreciate as much growing
Yeah,
up,
that's
but
true,
now
that's
you
true,
get
that's true.
the
That's
the
true.
hype.
I get the hype. Yeah.
What's
I feel
something
you.
that you didn't really like growing up?
Like we never really went to dawats like that in general, so I enjoyed going to them when I was younger because we rarely went to them because like my mom just wasn't social like that. Some that I didn't like growing up, I think one thing that I didn't understand that like I love now is like, and I don't know if that even makes sense, but like I love like Bengali people's sense of humor. Like I think Bengali people are some of the funniest people. Like in like their native language. When like like, I think about so many times in Bangladesh, I think of my cousin's friends, and they're just funny. It's like different than American funny. I know how to describe. They're just
something else too.
they're just so funny. I never understood it as
You'll
a
be
kid
like-
because it's mean. Like
Yeah.
they're being mean.
Yeah.
It's like they're roasting each other.
Right.
But it's like
But
it's
that's
just
their
so
love
funny.
language. Do you remember
It's
like
so
asking
funny.
your mom where something is, and she'll be like "matrubure" or "matarubure"?
Type
That means
shit.
on top of my head.
Yeah.
And it's
yeah.
like growing up, my mom was always so sarcastic. My parents like
yeah,
they just
still.
have, yeah, still
God.
like where do you think I got it from?
Yeah.
But it's like I'm so glad that you're Bengali,
okay.
that my best friend is Bengali.
Yeah, we can all gulpo.
We can just all like talk shit,
Right.
not talk shit, but like talk.
just
It
shit
just
talk.
hits different when it's in your native language,
True.
But yeah,
So yeah, like I think there were a lot of stuff I didn't understand growing up. Maybe because I just like my Bangla wasn't good enough or whatever it is. Like I wasn't mature enough to like, and I also really enjoy because growing up there was always a gap between like uncles and I think it's for like the men's side, like uncles and like teenagers, like they were never like together.
mm-hmm.
But now, like, after going to Bangladesh, like, I love chilling with, like, uncles and, like, chilling with, like,
You're the uncle.
guys in, like, 40s and
With the
50s. 'cause
jock.
they're the funny ones, yo.
Yeah.
Like, they're the funny
They've
ones.
been through and seen shit.
Yeah, they're so, I can't, like,
Verbalize.
like, redo it the
Mm.
way that they do it.
Yeah.
The way that, like, they'll just, like, talk to each other.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just, like, chilling with uncles and shit is fun.
But you know what? We wanted to have this like candid conversation, very loose, not structured at all, because I feel like a lot of the times brown people and like people in general shit on their own culture. Well, obviously there are things in every single culture and community that are not great.
Yeah.
But it's like once you shit on them constantly, like people only see the bad things, right? And we never want to be that type of people that like only talk about the negative things and blah, blah, blah. So we wanted to just make a little episode on like the things that we appreciate now and the things that make us so beautiful and great. But I know a lot of you guys also sent in responses on Instagram, if you guys don't know.
Where's that?
Instagram is
At
@difficultish.
Difficult dish.
And we posted a little story where we said, oh, what makes your community so great? So a lot of you guys sent in different things that make your specific community very great, whether it is like a Pakistani, Latin American, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So we're gonna share a lot of those responses, but first let's talk about our own.
I need to know your favorite thing about being Bengali.
Like as I'm like in the recent few months that I've been
I don't know
thinking-
what it is. Just like
Okay.
something that's like, you know, less obvious, but like some like that is just your favorite. Feel me?
You know, something that we've been talking about.
What is it?
Bangladeshi people love community.
Okay.
And I think what me and you were talking about is that since we are still very up and coming with promoting representation in the West in America and things like that, where, you know, we are not on the top like other POC groups might be. Like, you know, it's not a secret that Indian people are more up there in comparison to Bangladeshi people, in comparison to other minority groups, right? Obviously, Indian people are also a minority group. A lot of POC are obviously minority groups. But there are still other people that have immigrated here decades before. They have more resources. They have more education. So they're higher up, okay? So since Bangladeshi people are obviously also getting to the top, and there are also so many educated people, rich people, whatever it is, we are not up there like that, right?
True.
There are still not as many artists. There are still not as many creatives, this and that. So when we do see someone that is Bangladeshi and is striving to become that person, or, you know, you just want to support them more. And also there's like this like close-knit type of community, familial feeling where it feels like actually genuine, you know? I think when I see a Bangladeshi person that's an artist or someone that is trying to get up there, I'm so much more willing to like help them with resources and just like befriend them, and they're the same with me, right? Like I've made so many beautiful, obviously South Asian friends, and people in my community, met so many people in the community, but I feel like I'm so much more attracted and drawn to people that are in the same like niche group as me, right? Bangladeshi, or even a woman, or whatever it is. And it's just easier for me to connect with them because they understand the very specific struggle, you know? And I think it's very similar to even like when our parents moved to this country. Like obviously we are drawn to South Asian people, but it's so much more helpful when you're with another Bangladeshi person that gets the actual struggle, that understands the language, that gets what it took for you to get there, you know? And obviously we all have shared struggles if you are from the same diaspora, but for Bangladeshi people or whatever your niche is, it hits more when you're in that same group.
It does.
You know? So I just loved like the community factor because we're all just, for the most part, we're all just very like supportive of one another. We're not really trying to one up one another because obviously I can't speak for everyone. There are people that want to one up you, because we know how hard it is to even get here. So it's like we're willing to give other people help and, you know, take help.
Yeah, you know, it's like Bengali people were the last people to immigrate to America from like the South Asian diaspora. Like it was Indians, it was Pakistanis. Bengalis just got here like 20, 30 years ago. And they're still getting acclimated. You know, if you go to all the Dunkin' Donuts and all the Popeyes in Queens and the Bronx, like, it's all run by Bengali people. Like, and those were the jobs that like Indian people had to do before. But like, you know, now Bengali people are like trying to like make it happen over here.
Also, yeah, let me know if this is like a hot take, because it is a hot take, and that's why we're sometimes scared of talking about things like this, because there's going to be a population of people that still try to put us on the same like standing ground. No. Right? But the reality of the situation is that there are groups of people who also fall in the minority group, but they do fall higher up and they are closer to whiteness in some way, right?
I don't even want to say it's closer to whiteness. I'm just saying, like, yeah, you know, it's not wrong to say that, like, people got here first, and, like, you know, even though we're the same skin color, like, we come from the same part of the world. Like, you know, there's a difference between people from Laos and people from Japan, you know, even if it's the same type of world, like, you know, it's still, things could still be newer to, like, a certain
And even person. The fact that, like, there are still many people that are non-brown who refer to all brown people as Indian, you know, if they don't have education, that just shows you that there still isn't enough representation on South Asian countries or like minority countries in general where we're kind of still grouped in with other countries because we don't have as much representation as like India or like, you know, Bollywood, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like very important to find your specific group,
Like, there's nothing
you know?
wrong. Like, we labeled us a South Asian podcast. Like, we're not scared to say that. Like, we enjoy representing all South Asian people. But it's like we also want to be recognized as Bengali people. You know, we want to be recognized as South Asian and Bengali. You know, we don't want to only be under like the South Asian umbrella because it's like, you know, we're also super proud of our specific heritage. You know, and we want that to be shined. And also, man, like after going to Bangladesh, like I had the pleasure of going to like a lot of cool places and like a lot of events that have that showcase different artists and showcase like people's work.
You were so cool
and
with that.
yo, Bengali artists and stuff just hit different, like hit so different. Like and us amping up Bengali people is in no way trying to knock down anybody else's
Never
ground.
Never
but just to speak on my people, Bengali people are so talented, bro. Like some of the work, like it's not like so much of the work that like I saw over there, I'm just like blown away by. Like it's not only, it's just the fact that like, yo, like a Bengali in America, a Bengali from the West, like you have access to so many more resources or so many more like mentors or equipment or whatever it is to make a high quality product. Whereas like over there, you don't have the material to make a high quality product, but they still make some of the craziest shit that like I've ever seen. And it's like, I want like artists from Bangladesh to be labeled as Bangladeshi artists, not as South Asian artists. That's all I'm trying to say. That's
why it's so important for me to like highlight the fact that I'm from Bangladesh instead of just like a brown influencer or like a South Asian influencer, because the niche, like the specificity.
There you go. There you go. One more time.
The specificity is very important, and it might not be for an outsider. For someone else, it might be annoying for me to continuously say that, but because it is still very rare to have that, I find it very important.
Facts.
To talk about that.
Yeah, and we're not experts on the Bengali culture by any means. We are just two ding dongs. But we're still proud of who we are, and we're trying to get better at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of goes well with what I was gonna say about what one of my favorite things about being Bengali is.
Yeah, tell them.
Is and I can get deep into this, but I'm not going to.
Get deep into it.
No, we ain't got time like that.
We do. We do though. We got a podcast.
I love the openness that Bengali people have to other people's cultures as well. Not saying Indian Pakistani people don't, but I know that Bengali people are very, very endearing to just cultures from like around the world and stuff. And I think it comes from, just as an example, like with Bengali people recently getting to America, they had to learn how to assimilate with a lot of the other minorities of the world that were also moving into the Americas or like into the Bronx or into like less fortunate neighborhoods in like Queens and stuff. Like they had to be the ones to live in the same apartment buildings with Dominicans and Haitians and Jamaicans. And I kind of, and like, I don't know, like I could get a lot more into this about like where I think this comes from and stuff, but I saw this trend going on like in my life as well, but also in like a lot of Bengali people that I knew, is every Bengali person that I've ever come across is very just very aware, just very what's the word I'm looking for, just accepting, but also like curious about, like genuine curiosity about other people's cultures, because I think it's in the nature of a Bengali person to be curious about like where other people come from.
Do you think that's Bangladeshis in Bangladesh, or are you talking about Bangladesh?
No, in America, in the West that I've met, like any Bengali person that I meet is really into things of other people's cultures, because that's where I've always been. That's where family members of mine have also been in that category as well. Not to say that like all people whatever, but I've just recognized that about Bengali people is like, I know Bengalis that like know so much about like Colombian culture, know so much about Jamaicans, or know so much about like whatever it is, And even my mom has always been like so curious about the world. My mom like loves like going on flights and like speaking with like Arab flight attendants and just like speaking to like people from across the world. I remember this one time we went to like a grocery store. We met these two people from Hungary, and I think she was like just talking to them for like an hour just about Hungary. That type of stuff happens all the time with like me and just like people that I know that I bring eye to are just like so loving about like where other people come from and stuff. And let me know if like y'all relate to that. Is that just something that I've recognized? Have you seen that? Because I feel like that's something I'm always looking out for, so I see it a lot more. But like, does that make sense? Do you see that?
It makes sense. I mean, in Harlem, there's like a whole Bengali Harlem where people have families with like Spanish people.
I feel you.
So it's like a thing, you know.
Good.
But I don't know if it's a big thing in like the home countries. I think it's bigger. In the West. Yeah,
true.
You know.
Yeah. I forgot to say this. we're 20 minutes into the podcast, but please like the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, write us a review. Select a rating for us. There's only one right answer.
Yeah. If you don't, we're ending the podcast.
And yeah, you know, just like for me, like, yeah, like we enjoy having you listen to us,
right?
And we hope you enjoy listening to us too. Show us on your big screens, you know, like screencast us. Yeah. Feel me on your Samsung TV and just like, you know, type shit like I want to see that. Like, you feel me? All right. We're gonna go through some response to what you guys said right now on our Instagram. Our Instagram is @difficultish. We always let you guys know about what we're talking about
if you want to be featured.
Before we talked about it, but if you want to be featured, you know, hit us up on the road to 10K. And you know, we just out here type shit, clipping it up. Feel me? Our faces
on our TikTok too @difficultish podcast.
I'm in New York now.
But anyway,
feel me?
So someone said our affinity for gardening and agriculture.
Gardening. Oh, gardening. The world of gardening.
There's a huge green thumb for brown people and brown people in general, and I feel like a lot of people that grew up in villages, like obviously if you're American,
they know how to get down.
If you're American, for the most part, you didn't grow up in the villages. Like your family's from America, so I think that's why it's specific and unique to us, because you know mostly American people don't really grow plants like that. They do, facts. Obviously they do.
People, they be knowing everything. They like, oh, the soil is from the 4,000 feet elevation.
I don't know how.
This type of water.
I don't know how.
This amount of water.
When we went to Bangladesh, like my mom saw like a singular half a leaf, and she'd be like, "Oh, that's a lychee tree. That's a pomegranate tree." I was like,
"That's a pomegranate
she
from
knew
40 years ago."
Every single tree, every single plant before it even started growing, and I'm like, you picked the wrong career. Yeah. It's wild.
My favorite is like when you send them like a picture of a tree and they go, "Oh Allah.
Oh Allah.
From my village. I used to climb they make everything. I used to climb this tree 200 feet tall. I used to climb the tree, and then I used to pick 50 mangoes, and I used to jump off the tree and into the lake and then catch the fish. And then I eat the fish and the mango."
Mashoon's tree in his backyard in real life, but my mom always talks about it like she has like this personal connection to his mango trees. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like they have such close connections to their plants, and not even just like, oh, not like a rose garden, not like a tulip. We're talking about like plums. We're talking about like eggplants. Like actual squash. Food that you can harvest. Yeah. Vegetables that you can harvest. Yeah. I live in New York with snow, and my mom is still trying to grow a lemon.
Yeah. Facts. one job. I know some here I got those parents will, you know, they'll showcase the lao. Yeah, I know you had that. I had that. They'll be like, "Look at my lao."
They have a ruler.
They'll hold like this.
Like a trophy.
Look at my lao.
Look at my lao. What is that in English?
Squash.
Oh, squash. Yeah. My mom pulled out a ruler to measure it.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, drop y'all squash pics.
We'll drop our squash pics.
We'll drop our it's gonna be on the screen right here.
That's how you know that this is very specific to like a certain group of people, because like if you don't get what we're talking about at all, if you don't get the hype with it, then you don't understand. Like you don't get it, you know?
Yeah, facts. Yeah, we really on that. And you know, I got it too. I'm not done. I got this too, man. Like I love everything about trees and water and plants. You know, now I'm the one climbing trees up 200 feet tall and then jumping off and then doing backflips into the lake. You know?
I wish I had the green thumb, but unfortunately, like that one
Yeah.
I have the hopes and dreams for it, but like
Yeah,
it didn't
one
get
day.
passed down to me.
Yeah, it'll come. Right now, it's just growing. It's metamorphosizing. Feel
Yeah,
me?
see, the
It's-
green thumb is
it's getting there. Yeah,
metamorphosizing
now,
in me.
now it's just like a calm, feel me,
Yeah.
type shit.
All right. So on a darker note,
Okay. Nice.
someone said funeral prayers are announced and people rock up to mosque even if they don't know the person or family.
Yeah.
And I think that just shows the importance of community and just being there for one another, even if they don't like directly know the person. Like if you have some sort of affiliation to one person in the family of the deceased, then you're showing up just to show respect.
Yes.
And you will take off work. You will take off anything to show up, even if you don't actually know the person. And I think that's a very beautiful thing.
Noble.
And in America, for the most part, obviously you want to go to a funeral only if you know the person. It's like about privacy. You don't want to intrude if you don't want to be like throwing out a party, but like crowding up the place if you don't know the person. But in Bangladesh and like specific countries like this in South Asia, it's kind of rude if you don't show up, even if you don't know them, And I think it's a really nice thing. I mean, it's a whole other conversation on privacy. Obviously, there's like a boundary with things, like don't come into the room if like you didn't knock. But like with things like that, I think it's very noble and very respectful.
It is.
Yeah. All right. Someone said Pakistani poetry. Even the show that we went to yesterday, we went to a live reading of Mashoon's favorite poet.
Yes.
At NYU yesterday, and he translated a piece of poetry that was made from 43 centuries ago, he said, right?
Yes.
So that was like BCE, like a very, very long time ago from this female writer, right?
Yeah.
And it was written in a whole other language. It was like not hieroglyphics, but one of those like Sumerian texts or something like that. And so it was like loosely translated, but the translation is not giving it justice. But anyway, my point is that when you try to translate a Bengali poem, a Pakistani poem, or a song, whatever it is, in English, it is not the same. It doesn't sound as romantic. So that's like why when I listen to Hindi music or Bengali music, whatever, I don't like listening to the English like translation of it because it doesn't do it justice. And obviously English poetry is also very beautiful. There's like ways of saying words that you can't really say in other languages and things like that. But I feel like in your native tongue, it sounds like so beautiful. Like I don't know how else to explain it.
I mean, I also don't want to say that like so about what he was saying yesterday. He was saying that he was saying like
Kaveh
a
Akbar,
lot.
by the way.
Kaveh Akbar. He was saying a lot of those poems were translated by just anthropologists and people that weren't really like beautiful, like linguistic kind of writers that understood like the ebbs and flow of like language. Like it would just be very like
very
bird lady sang song. Just like very like literal. Whereas like once you have somebody that speaks a little bit more out and like understands like how language works, the poetry comes out more beautiful. And I think he said something that like I really liked. He said how like after he read the poem, everybody was like clapping and like really enjoyed it. And he was like, oh, like I think like the real magic in the world is the fact that like like the energy in the room is different now than it was 2 minutes ago. And it's changed because of this poem that a lady wrote 43 centuries ago, and like that's very magical. And that's kind of like the beauty behind like writing and poetry is the fact that like the effects of it are everlasting. Like they can like you can feel that type of energy however much longer like down the road. It's like it's timeless. And I feel that way about a lot of Bengali poetry that I read. Like I remember when I was walking around Dhaka University, I saw a quote that I showed you from Joinul Abdin. It's like a quote that one of his quotes, it's like someone painted it on the wall and it basically says like, oh, like and it was in Bangla, but the translation to English is very beautiful. Like, he basically said like the world, the biggest famine that the world is suffering at the moment is the famine of knowledge and like the famine of curiosity and something like that. And I think it was very beautiful. And like, yeah, man, I think like Bengali arts, like I could talk about for a long time, but like,
I mean, we're known for the arts.
Yeah,
and we're known
I love
for
it.
poetry and things like that. So it's kind of like a injustice when you do try to translate it. Obviously, it's more universal when you do translate. More people can understand and read it, but it doesn't serve it the right way, you know?
Yeah.
So someone said, I love how hospitable our people are, kindest people on earth.
Oh God.
That's facts.
Except me.
Yeah, except you. But anyway, I don't know why you said that, considering you're the most hospitable too.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally back home, people in Bangladesh are giving you the clothing off their own backs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they will be mad at you if you don't like come to the country without telling them, and also if you don't stay in their home, even if they don't even have any extra beds or rooms or anything, they're still gonna offer it, and they're going to sleep on the floor.
Now tell me why. Like, I stayed the night at one of my uncle's house, and like I went, and their place is pretty small, and I was like, and they were like, no, stay, blah blah blah, and I was like, okay, and I thought that like we'll end up sleeping on the floor, right? But like they gave me like my cousin's room,
right?
And then I was like, oh, like where's my cousin?
Right.
And then my uncle was like, oh, we sent him to someone else's house. I was like, yo, it's not that serious, bro. To like some other family member that's like down the street. I'm like, it's not that serious, bro. Like, I could just slept on the floor. He's like, no. And I saw my cousin the next morning. I'm like, yo, I'm so sorry, bro. He's like, no, it's fine.
You made him get kicked out.
I was like, I didn't know. I thought it was gonna be all that. I would have just slept on the floor. I kicked him out, bro.
My mom was telling me a story the other day how when one of my aunties came to America for the first time or something, and they wanted to stay at her house when I was a newborn. I, as a newborn, slept on the floor with my parents, and they slept on the bed. Obviously, they insisted to also sleep on the floor, and we at the bed. But my parents said no, and I slept on the floor with them.
That's nice.
And I was like, what, 3 days? I don't know how old I was.
3-4 days.
I was like, I don't know. I was young.
Good days.
But I was like, damn, we go hard. And it's a very big gesture where they cook all this food for you, even if you haven't seen them in 2 days, 20 years. There's no in between. They're gonna cook you all this food for the most part. And I remember there was this one hair clip that I really liked from my new friend in Bangladesh, and I was like, oh my God, I love your hair clip, where did you get it?
Nah, you can't.
And she was like, oh, I got it online, like, and I was like, oh, it's okay. She was like, no, Nijo, like, take it. And I'm like, no, it's your hair clip, like, you keep it. Like, I think it's very similar with Arab people as well. It's when you compliment them, they're like taking off their earrings to give it to you. Like, no, I don't even want it. So ugly, you take it.
Yeah.
You know? It's
they invented like gaslighting, but like positive gaslighting.
Positive gaslighting.
It's like nah, I actually hate this.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. And then they manipulate you into taking
I remember I was talking to my cousin. I was like, yo, I want to get a Bangladesh jersey. He was like, oh, okay, and then he just buys me one.
Like in secret too.
That's not what I said, bro.
In secret.
I'm not saying.
It's very wholesome. And even when we went to Bangladesh, like one of my cousins literally took off work to give us a whole tour that day, which not bare minimum, but people here obviously do that too in America. But then my mom also wanted to go somewhere else and just like said it in like, you know, conversation, not actually meaning it. And he was like, yeah, I'm free, even though he works. Like, he wasn't free. He was just planning on taking off work that day too. But yeah, anyway, the hospitality in Bangladesh especially, I mean, from our experience, is like amazing. It's just out of this world.
Yeah, man, I get it. I was joking. I see myself as very hospitable.
You are.
You know, like,
What's
I'm
an
excited.
example that you do?
I mean, I just love cooking for people.
Yeah.
I remember my first time that I had a cooking party in my apartment in Orlando. Like, I was so stressed.
You love that.
I was so stressed because I had never cooked that much. I think it was like 6 people. I had never cooked that much before, but like, it was so fun. Like, I get it. Like, and like you like serve people, and then like you just kind of like stand there and like look at them. Like, I get it, man. Like, I do that. Like, I had one auntie in Bangladesh. Like, she was the epitome of like we joke about aunties giving you extra food and like not listening to you, but this woman, like, shout out to her. Her food was amazing, but like she was very like you would say you're full and she's like,
that's what my mom does.
No, but like your mom is like, if you say enough, like if you beg, like, auntie please, like she'll hear you out. But this auntie, like, there's no you know, so yeah, I get it. I like cooking for people. It's
and I think
fun.
that's something we didn't appreciate growing up, because like sometimes we would also host those like dawats and stuff at our house, and like my mom would go so hard cleaning and cooking, and like we wouldn't understand it, because I'm like, why do we have to clean our room? They're not gonna even hang out in our room. Facts. Why are you cooking so much? It's only for this many people.
Yeah.
And she would get mad at us, and we just wouldn't understand it, right?
Yeah.
even the gifting culture of like us bringing back all this stuff back to Bangladesh. We just don't get it as much.
Yeah. Now I'm like,
but now we're just
invite them.
Yeah,
everybody.
invite them.
How many can we
why
get,
you cook that much. It's
as
just,
many as possible.
It's like bare minimum. Like cooking 20 dishes for 2 people is like normal.
Yeah.
It's normal behavior, you know?
Yeah. Like all this morning, I'm just thinking about what sides to make. For
first he said dumplings.
Yeah.
Then he said like pasta.
That's all I've been. I was up late just thinking about sides, bro. I couldn't. I
Now he landed on spring rolls.
It's spring rolls. Yeah.
Spring rolls. He's never made spring rolls in his life, but now he wants
it'll be easy.
Experience that.
Or terrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you realize we have a puzzle on the table. Are you gonna put it on top of the puzzle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'll solve the puzzle first.
Okay. He ruined it. Okay. Anyway, the next one is very specific. Calling the workers such as rickshaw pullers mama or uncle. Can you imagine if like in America if someone did that to like a taxi driver? Hey uncle. Bruh. Hey mama. Take me to.
I do that too.
No, it's not as common. It's like when you see a brown person, you feel the comfortability and like the familiarity where you feel obliged to call them that out of respect.
I hear you.
You know,
but
even
also you know Latin people like all Latin people will call guys like papi. You're like
that's true.
That's normal too.
Yeah.
I mean not for white people I guess.
Yeah, but that's why I think it's like so cute. It's like you just call it for white culture. You just call them by the first name.
No, they say sir.
Oh yeah, sir.
Say sir.
Yeah. But I'm saying once you get to know them, like
true.
even if we get to know like uncles, we don't call them like Brad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Nah, they'll say like Uncle David and stuff.
I guess.
All right, whatever. But
okay.
yeah, you know, I you know, especially when I was haggling and negotiating, I'd be like, yo, mama, come on, bro, like cheaper, like less.
If I heard you as a store owner, I'd give you a higher price.
Nah, I get it done though.
Just from your accent. All right, someone said, love for our language.
Okay.
This is very big. You know why?
Why?
Because Bangla is one of the sweetest languages in the world. Okay, don't say that I'm lying because that's true. Look up the facts. Yeah. Anyway, we fought for our language very hard. We have International Mother Language Day. We celebrate that very heavy. We are very passionate about our culture, our language, our independence, right? And we are very fairly new. Our country just got our independence like 50 years ago. Our language, we had to fight for it, right? We are very passionate about our people, our language, you know? That's why our language is so tightly close to us, where we want to preserve it very badly. It makes me very sad when like people in our generation don't know how to speak Bangla or they don't care to. And even in Bangladesh, there are people that are younger that don't care to learn it because they go to schools where English is prioritized, you know? So for the love for our language is very, like, I get it. And it's very different from American culture because English is kind of the standard in the whole world. And, you know, we didn't have to fight for it like that.
Yes.
English has been around for a long time for the most part. So it's very refreshing to see like how Bangla is just so like sacred, you know.
I'm very happy. My mom taught me Bangla growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know people that don't know Bangla like that. It just like wasn't spoken in the house, and like not that I feel bad, but it's like, man, like I'm just happy my mom did. You know? Yeah.
There's a lot of when I went to Bangladesh, a lot of people were confused and shocked that me and my brother knew Bangla because people have this idea that Bangladeshi Americans don't really know the language because we grew up in America. There are other things that we had to prioritize. But, you know, my parents really enforced it growing up because they knew that it was going to die out. And I gratefully had, like, parents and, like, a community around me to, like, really enforce that. But, yeah, it makes me sad that it's, like, expected that you don't know it. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, my Bangla's so bad, though.
We have to really push it into the next generation.
My Bangla's so bad, bro.
At least now you're learning.
I got better in, like, my time in Bangladesh, not gonna lie, but that, yeah.
On the same note, my bestie wrote, the fact that most Bengalis are fluent in Hindi, Urdu, as well as Bangla.
That's very true.
Yeah, I
that's very true.
I personally am not fluent in that.
I'm not, but...
Yeah, but it's common. It's
yeah.
When you know Bangla and you know English,
my mom knows.
You're already bilingual.
My mom knows Hindi, yeah.
But yeah, it's very common to know Urdu and Hindi because the languages are pretty similar. So it's like a standard for you to be multilingual. Yeah. It's such a flex. The fact that you know 2+ languages for the most part is such a flex. And then Arabic if you know how to read and write it. Yeah, it's amazing.
My mom knows some Spanish too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my mom too.
Learning how to work.
My mom knows mamacita.
Yeah. Oh.
Because my mom used to
Facts.
she used to work at a deli. My dad used to own a deli.
Aw.
So they used to have a lot of like Spanish workers.
Yeah, they call her mamacita.
Yeah.
Damn.
And she used to know like
That's
uno, dos, tres.
Wow.
And she used to know un poquito.
Un poquito.
Yeah.
Damn.
And hola,
Shout out,
¿cómo
Mom.
estás?
Damn, that's all you need.
Yeah, but like it's very cool that so many languages are similar to one another. Like obviously the Romance languages are similar to one another. Farsi, Arabic, those are similar. Urdu, Bangla, Hindi, those are similar. If you watch Bollywood movies, you kind of get a hang of things. Yeah, it's very cool. It's a huge flex for me. You know, that's why on the resume you gotta put down. Yeah, I know 7 languages. Technically, you do, because the thing is, it's like if a customer or someone talks to you in the language, for the most part, you kind of get the vibe of what they're asking, what they're talking about.
I did this on my last job.
Yeah.
In my last position, a majority of the people that I worked with spoke Bangla, and that's why they love working with me, because I rarely spoke it back, but they can tell me everything that's going on,
and you'd get it,
and I understood everything.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
so
amazing.
That counts as fluent, right?
Yeah, right.
Fluent.
Yeah.
I'm a fluent Bangla speaker.
Yeah. Someone said how we're vocal about the genocide our country went through and educate others about it.
Wow. I went to Miami with my friend last summer, and we played this game where like we would all make like PowerPoints for each other, and we would just do PowerPoint presentations like for school,
like
but like
people.
But for like whatever we wanted. So like he did one on like Roman mythology or something, and I did it about the Bangladesh genocide and how we gained our independence. And because I think it's really important. Obviously it's important for people to know, but like I love educating people about it.
Yeah.
You know, because like I think like the more you talk about it, like the more confident you become in it. And like I want to get to the point where like I know as much about it and as many details about like the journey of like Bangladesh gaining their independence. And I really, really enjoy talking about it and like educating people about it and stuff.
And I think that's why a lot of us in our specific community are so passionate about being outspoken of other things going around in the world, because we kind of have the real life experience with it, and not real life, but like we have our
it wasn't long ago
direct experience.
You know, it was like,
you know, our parents or our grandparents, like they have direct experience with this, so we get how much of an impact it has. Like now I'm teaching my baby cousins about what's going on in the world, and because I mean obviously not just because of our direct correlation to it, but it hits different when you understand the impact of it, you know. And so now I can like teach other people about it, and like the new generation can bring it into their. And it makes you
more willing to be vocal about other genocides.
That's what I'm saying.
In the world.
That's what I'm saying. Me? We get it.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts? Joy Bangla.
Joy Bangla.
Joy Bangla. Yeah. My pillow is out if you guys don't know.
But we love everybody, man. Like we love our Indian listeners. We love our Pakistan. We love everybody.
But this is just to like show love to our specific community, you know. What makes us beautiful and unique. And obviously this is probably giving you ideas on what makes you unique and what makes you different from other people, and what you should be appreciative of, you know, something maybe that you didn't really understand growing up.
Facts.
Yeah.
Good.
Any 10-second advice for the people out there listening?
Damn, I don't know, my brain kind of, you know.
I recommend that you try to listen to some new music in another language, because I feel like a lot of us, again, not really embracing or accepting our culture, listen to music that felt cooler or more accessible, like Hindi music or Punjabi music or things like that, which are beautiful pieces of music, you know. And I didn't really give love to Bangla music growing up, even though I grew up listening to it in my parents' house and all my family listened to it. I didn't come around to listening to it until college. Yeah. So give some love to your own culture, and try giving it a chance if you didn't really grow up with a good relationship with it,
And give some love to others too.
What the hell is going on here?
and give some love to other cultures too.
If you guys if you're not watching the video, he picked up the poppy with the wires.
You don't gotta give like a annotation of what's going on. And give love to other cultures as well. Yeah. Like know yours, know what's going on with yours, know the history of yours, but like
be
love other people too.
Yeah, if you're not
even open, just be like curious about other people. Yeah. There's so much to learn about. Like everything that you love about your culture, somebody loves about their culture. Yeah. So learn to love this as well. I love a lot of cultures. I love a lot of different cultures' musics. I love a lot of different cultures' religions. Now? Huh?
Why are we whispering?
Oh, sorry. It's just like when it's come from the heart.
Oh, okay.
Me, so, so yeah. I mean, it's like for me, yeah. I love people.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Okay. That's a good way of ending episode.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. Today's emoji will be...
What's going on with you?
Sorry, I'm just done. What's the emoji?
Today's emoji of the week will be the drum/tabla set.
Oh wow.
Because the music is very big in South Asian culture. The tabla is very different.
That's not how you play tabla.
So any musical instrument, put it down in the comments below, but specifically the drum set.
Yeah, y'all know I could sing. I could sing too. You want me to sing? Nah, it's okay.
You're not ready for that.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode.
We love you guys.
Rate it, review it, like it, subscribe to it, and
show us love. Hugs. All right, we love you guys, and we'll see you next week. Allah Hafiz.